Hey guys, KRSif here with another review. This time I'll be reviewing the deluxe Breaking Mammoth and Breaking Mammoth ProgRise key from Kamen Rider 01. This is a giant suit of power armor which serves as 01's newest form, as well as the ProgRise key that lets him become that form. So, let's get started. First off, we'll start by looking at the Breaking Mammoth ProgRise key. This key has a silver color, and it has a woolly mammoth motif. Now what's cool about this is that this is pretty unique among ProgRise keys because all the previous ProgRise keys are based on currently living species of animals, whereas the mammoth is an extinct species, and that's because this was actually reverse engineered from a Zetsume Rise key, which are what the monster of the week, the Magia, used to transform, and those are all based on extinct species. So, you've got the name here, the image of the mammoth there, has the ability to press, and you can see that it does use a nice silver plastic color. So then you have the two sounds that makes on its own. And we can open it up to get the X-ray image of the mechanical mammoth. And then sounds again. Next, we'll test out Breaking Mammoth with the 01 driver. And there we get the transmission for Kamen Rider 01 Breaking Mammoth. Then, we'll press the ProgRise key for the Breaking Impact.
Breaking Impact!
Then use a separate ProgRise key to power it up. Next, before getting to the rest of the sounds that the Breaking Mammoth ProgRise key makes, we'll be looking at the Breaking Mammoth itself, starting in satellite form. This is actually a portion of the satellite that basically beams down all of 01's powers to him. Now this is an incomplete version of it, and in order to complete it, you take the Breaking Mammoth ProgRise key, and then attach it to this slot here. There we have the complete version. And in fact, in the other side, it includes a dummy ProgRise key to complete the look. So, getting up close, you can see the front portion of it. We've got this little clear red part, as well as some nice details. And on the back you can see basically a lot of the parts of the robot mode folded up. And one thing I did is that this doesn't have a good time bouncing on its own, so what I like to do is that if I want to put it in this mode, I'll just bring these down a little bit and then use those as stabilizers. So this has 3 different modes into the first one, and then we'll transform it into the second one. So for that, we're going to start by taking this front part, unlatching it, and then bring it all the way up to the top, or latch it back in place. Then we're going to flip it over to this side, take these pieces, bring them up like this, and rotate them around 180 degrees, and fold them all the way down. I'll take these segments and bring them upwards for a little bit. Take these portions, rotate them around 180 degrees, And take these sections, move them down, and then to about there. Then fold this back down. Do the same on the other side. Then fold this back down. And here we have jet mode. So with this, it comes a jet nose cone with kind of a cockpit segment here. Got the boosters at the back. And then these pieces off the side, which are kind of like the wings. Now this does kind of suffer from the same problem that the vehicle mode of last year's Time Machine did, where it's, in this case, basically the robot mode that's just kind of lying flat on its back, with some parts moved around. But this is an actual mode that becomes, so it is good that it's here. And so then we'll get to the final transformation into the robot mode. So, for that we're actually going to start by doing one of the optional features, which is that you can take your RKF-01 Rising Hopper and insert it here into the back. Now the easy way to do that is actually to fold him backwards a little bit, insert the legs, then bring his waist forward so that it clips into place at the waist. Now flip it around, fold these over, and basically do a kind of reverse transformation of the arms. And of course, same on the other side. Hold these out a little bit. Then flip down this piece and secure it in place on the back. And here we have Kamen Rider 01 Breaking Mammoth. Now this is, from a design perspective, a very cool form. Starting off, we have the head, which is definitely very similar to 01 Rising Hopper, down to the red bug eyes and the antennae. Then you have the main body, where you can see the mammoth imagery, where we have basically the whole torso being a mammoth head, with the eyes here, the ears over here, the trunk going down to here, where as you see, a 01 driver molded onto the waist, and then the tusks off to the sides. Now, though I didn't get to quite properly show it, I just temporarily remove 01. You can actually see that the paint color used here is basically a perfect match for that used on the figure, which helps give it a good amount of consistency. And yes, the figure can be a little bit tough to put in sometimes, but it really just takes a bit of finagling to get into the right position. Something like that. Now additionally, we have these big legs that come down to these very big mammoth-like feet. Got a lot of nice details on it and a lot of nice paint. And you can see that not only do you have clear parts for the head here, but also the sort of mammoth eyes are also done in clear red. Now articulation-wise, this actually has quite a bit. For starters, we have the face portion, which is on its own ball joint. So, if I can just unlash it from there, it can be moved left and right, a bit up and down. We then have the arms, which have a very free range of motion. We have the full 360 rotation at the shoulders. We've seen a lot of the articulation via the transformation, where the actual arms can go down that far and up all the way to here. You got the elbow joint, which is a bit of an inwards one, where it moves out that far and in this far. So if you want to get a more traditional elbow, you'd want to move it like that. You also have a wrist rotation right here. As for the legs, they're a little bit more limited, but they still do have some articulation. They move, well, they can't exactly move back because of this piece blocking them. They can move forward 45 degrees, bend the knees 45 degrees, and then this piece rotates all the way around. Additionally, it also has weapons, which are the two tusks on the front. So, we're going to want to take them and flip them around. Then come to the arms, where we'll take these pieces and use them to secure them in place in the hands. So now we can use the tusks as a pair of scythe weapons, or sickles, which is a very nice touch, as it's not too often that these kind of giant robot toys for Kamen Rider come with their own weapons, and it's definitely a nice way of taking the design and integrating it into a feature for the toy. Now additionally, another cool feature is that both of these ProgRise keys are interchangeable. If you wanted, you could take a different ProgRise key and switch out for either the Breaking Mammoth ProgRise key or the dummy ProgRise key, which gives it an extra bit of playability. Now for some size comparisons, here is the Vulcan Chain Wolf figure, where you can see that it is quite a bit shorter and it does scale quite well. For a couple of other size comparisons, here is last year's Time Machine, where it's certainly taller, but I would say that Breaking Mammoth is more well proportioned, as I definitely thought that the Time Machine are a little bit too tall and lanky. On the flip side, actually scales very well with Kishi Ryujin, where they're about the same size, though Breaking Mammoth is just a bit taller. So it definitely has a good size for a giant robot toy. Getting back to the ProgRise key, we can next test it out with the Shot Riser as well as the dummy ProgRise key. Then we'll activate the Braking Blast. Then bring in the belt for the Braking Blast Fever. Now, as I said before, we can also test out the dummy ProgRise key, because believe it or not, this does fit in a couple of items. It has about the same size and shape as a regular ProgRise key. The only difference is that it has basically kind of a blank front and isn't able to be opened. So it won't fit in the 01 driver, but it will fit in the Shot Riser.
AUTHORIZE.
And so this basically lets us hear what sounds this would make if you put in a ProgRise key that didn't have any sounds in it. And finally, we'll also test out these two with the Attache caliber. So first, breaking Mammoth.
ProgRise key confirmed. Ready to utilize. Mammoth ability. Breaking Attache.
So first was the breaking Kamen Strash, then we'll do a ProgRise for the breaking Kamen Dynamic.
Charge rise. Full charge. Breaking Attache.
And remove this, and sub in the dummy ProgRise key.
ProgRise key confirmed. Ready to utilize. Kamen Slash. Charge rise. Full charge. Kamen Dynamic.
And there we go. Overall, I'd say that this is an absolutely great set. Now, the Breaking Mammoth ProgRise key is, a ProgRise key. It has all the same type of sounds as all the other ones do. And of course, those are unique to it. But of course, the real standout piece here is the Breaking Mammoth itself. I would say that last year's Time Machine was something of a testing ground to see how well Bandai could make a giant robot toy that could fit in the new smaller scale figures. And I'd say that they've improved upon it with this one. They shrunk it down, but also made it to where it still can scale well with the different figures. And because of that, it's definitely more well proportioned. I'd also say it's actually more well designed. It has more paint, it's more colorful, it just has a better design that works better and works well with its own theme. Not to mention, integration with other toys works well too. Of course, you can fit in the 01 figure, but what is nice about it is that it does not in any way hinder the toy, and if you don't have it in there, you won't really know the difference. Not to mention, I'd say that its integration with this year's gimmick item works better because it's on the arms and it's something that is less obtrusive than having to have a ProgRise key and then, or rather a ride watch and sitting on the face of a time machine. Not to mention, this has 3 modes instead of 2, and while the vehicle mode is certainly not as good as the robot mode, it does make up for it by also having that satellite mode, to where you get this cool triple changer. So overall, this is well worth the price, whether or not you have any of the RKF figures. It's a great time on its own, and of course you get a new ProgRise key to use with all your deluxe roleplay toys. So overall, highly recommended. Next time, I'll be reviewing the ProgRise key connector and Amazing Hercules ProgRise key. So, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. And if you're new and would like to see more, please subscribe and hit the bell icon. And for now, this is KRX50, writing off.